I can't wait to see these two as teammates. We're about to see how the rivalry transfers into chemistry because it's almost a certainty, I think, that Reese and Clark will be suiting up together in the WNBA All-Star game and on the same squad. You know, the way that the voting goes, the format of the game is going to be Team USA versus Team WNBA. And by the way, I could easily make the case that both Reese and Clark should be on the USA basketball squad, not only for their huge burgeoning popularity that has come into the sport, but because you couldn't really say they don't deserve it, right? Like it wouldn't be laughable to put them on the team given the numbers that they're putting up with Reese dominating on the boards, setting rookie double-double records, and Caitlin Clark filling out the entire stat sheet. Really, Clark is having an impact on every facet of the game, and to my eyes, she is the best playmaker in the sport. So their games are also complementary. That's another cool thing about it, where they wouldn't take away from one another. In fact, they would work very well with one another. I think you would see Clark hit Reese for easy buckets, and most importantly, you would see Reese move, screen, get on the boards when Clark misses. Clark would be more comfortable just putting the ball up because she knows Angel would go out there and get it. And then Angel is very good stealing the ball. So she could steal the ball, get it to Clark, who could then go ahead and transition where she's most dangerous. So there's a lot of ways I think they would work together as a pair. They would work together as a pair. Now, the way that the voting works, or the way that the teams are chosen, it's the 12 women who are going to represent USA basketball. And then it will be the top 10 vote getters on the other side. The top 10 vote getters on the other side, plus 2 players chosen by the coaches. And if you look at the votes, even though the votes it's 50% fans, 25% players, and 25% coaches, I want to say. But if you look at the vote totals, especially considering you're going to be taking away the USA members, I can't imagine that both Clark and Reese don't make the team. Obviously, Clark's way up there, right next to Asia Wilson in total votes, and Reese is right here between Ionescu and Kelsey Plum. So I think they're going to have the totals there where it's going to be hard to deny them the spot, or forget hard to deny them. They're just going to make it based on the criteria and the way that this is structured. And I think it sets up what will be maybe the sporting event of the summer. I mean, we're past the NBA season. The NFL season hasn't started yet, right? You've got baseball going on, but that just goes on. Sorry, baseball fans, that just goes on. Even the Stanley Cup is over with right now. What's going to be more hyped, maybe beyond the Olympics, of, as far as like non-international events, what's going to be more hyped than seeing Clark and Reese together going up against that USA basketball squad? I'm marking the calendar. I'm locking it in. Caitlin was asked about it before they played the Sky, and here's what she said about the possibility of teaming up.
You would probably, or both of us, a lot of hypotheticals. I think both of you would probably, or both of us would probably tell you, like, our focus is on definitely playing basketball, and if that works out for the both of us, great. Like, it would be a lot of fun. We've never played together, so yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really know what all goes into how they select the All-Star team. I'm new to the league. I know fan vote is part of it, but there's also a lot of other criteria. It's not just fan vote. So, yeah, I mean, she's had a tremendous season, and if that was to happen, I'm sure people would love it.
People would love it. I would love it. Most definitely, I would love it. And the thing about it too is, after that last game between the Fever and the Sky, all the conversation really shifted to basketball, which was nice to see, right? Like, you're not anymore talking about, in this instance, like all the other nonsense that was circling around these two young ladies, and the foul from Reese, and the special whistle comments from Reese, and what people said after the fact, and people saying, Caitlin's popular because of this, other, whatever the case may be. And Reese had the comment where she said it's not just Caitlin. Regardless, Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the explosion in women's basketball, right? But Angel Reese is also very popular in her own right. I'd say she's the second most popular women's basketball player in the world right now. And I've noticed a trend when a lot of people have come into the league at the same time, they're following the rookies. They're following the rookies' stories. And they're then attached to the rookies. And I think, even the most ardent Clark fan would have to have an appreciation for Angel's game, seeing the way that she was relentless on the boards, seeing her motor, seeing everything else she displayed in that game when the Sky came back to beat the Indiana Fever. And I think on the opposite side of it too, I mean, you have to be a hater to not respect Angel Reese's game and what she brings. She's a different type of basketball player. And you have to be an absolute hater to try to act like Caitlin Clark ain't different, right? I mean, you saw her in that game as well. She should have broken the WNBA record for assists in a game in that game if some of her teammates had converted on those passes. Regardless, she set an NBA or WNBA franchise record for the Indiana Fever. That is a franchise record for the Fever with the 13 assists in that game. And it's one of the reasons it would be exciting to see her on the Olympic team to play with that level of personnel, right? And how her playmaking would stand out with that level of personnel. Regardless, that same philosophy will translate to the other WNBA All-Stars. And I think seeing Caitlin Clark with the ball in her hands, distributing to those other All-Stars, alongside a teammate in Angel Reese, who's going to go do the dirty work across the court from the USA basketball team that Clark famously was not selected for. And sorry, I don't buy the argument she's not good enough. By the way, I would probably personally select Angel Reese for the team as well because of what she specifically can provide to a team and, to help with the dual popularity there and the continued growth. Whatever, we're past it. It's over with now. But that is a hell of a storyline, right? Clark with superstar teammates facing off with the USA basketball squad across from Diana Taurasi and company. But this time, instead of it being Sky and Fever head-to-head, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese will be wearing that same All-Star jersey, at least most likely, for that game, that exhibition, July 20th, coming up in a sold-out arena, another sellout in Phoenix.